So, welcome to the interview.
Oh, thank you so much, John. Thank you so much. And I was strong the whole day on Saturday, then around 15, then I just started crying. A week after I'd gone to Israel, I think that was the time I lost my mom. And I couldn't come back to Zambia because I was... It's a very interesting question. So yeah, my mom is just a young man, a young man from around Lusaka. Took my time, I think, in Bilai. That's where like my whole journey maybe started from. I think that's what I can say. Yeah, I'm just a simple person, friendly. I like making friends, but not everyone is my friend. So yeah, that's yeah. I'm the third born in the family of six.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's just about me.
Okay, so this interview, obviously, we want to talk about a little bit of your journey in university and a little bit of your life after university. But firstly, I want to ask you a question from CBU. When was the first Jambo, or like, what was the first Jambo that you experienced, and how was it for you?
Ah, that's a very good one. I think the first one, what was that? I think the first one was like in 2016. And
Were you
and
for your
yeah,
first year?
I think it was just the intro to one of those jambos. It was just
Yeah.
the intro, and we managed to escape that one. But the second one, I think, was in 2017. That was a serious one. I think this
Yeah.
one in my mind, like I'll never forget this one, and I still
Yeah.
have the mission of guilty from Riverside Police because I was caught in that riot.
So you're
And
saying right now in the country of Zambia, you are an offender. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, and I've kept that certificate. I still have it. I still have it
Yeah.
in yeah, I've kept it because I want to show a number of especially the young ones that will be coming that okay, look, when you involve yourself in such things, sometimes it's not really like you involve yourself. Like for me, like when the riot started, I was just in my room. Okay, I was just in my
Mhm.
room, and then I was just busy studying and doing other things, and I decided to sleep. We decided to sleep with. I was with my three roommates actually. That was
Okay.
brave. That was Kosam as well. So when the riot started, I think police came in campus and the other people started running, and we
Uh-huh.
thought okay because we were safe. Our block,
Mhm.
then I was staying by E block, and was
Yeah.
I was staying. So that side it was very safe. So we were like, okay, we're cool here. Not until
Uh-huh.
we started hearing the police just next to our room, and we knew that things were like bad, and they
Did you try
started
to
breaking.
run away?
Come again?
Did you try to run away when you heard them, like in your corridors or something?
That thought came, and I was like, okay. I've heard a lot of stories where someone was trying to run and then maybe they broke their leg, they broke their arm and stuff. So I decided to
Mm.
sleep, just hide maybe in the room. But my friend, of course, I've managed to run. I think he came out through the window. But me and Brave decided just to just to hide in the room. I think I was under the monk the what do you call that?
The monk, the monk table.
Yeah, the monk table. That's why I was hiding under the monk table there. And Brave, I think Brave was in the closet, if I haven't mistaken. So Brave was caught, and they asked him, "Are you alone here?" Then he was like, no. He said, "Yes, I'm alone." Then the other guy
Uh-huh.
was like, "No, no, let's try to check."
Oh,
Then the guy opened the monk mat, and then he saw me there. He was just like, "Hey, cousin, come out, let's go." And ish, that night was crazy. Like we were hammered. Like
oh my
ish,
God.
yeah. I think that was something. Ish, it
Would
was. It was.
would you define that as the worst experience in the university?
I think that was my worst experience because, I used to say like like when you're having conversations with friends, you'd
Mm-hmm.
say, I can't go to maybe to a police station. I cannot be in police cells, something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
at that moment, it was one of those things where I never even had the thought of going to a police cell or something. But I just found myself there. I remember, I think we were caught on a Friday, and I was strong the whole day on Saturday. Then around 15, then I just
Mm-hmm.
started crying. I think I saw Brave. Brave was quite strong,
Yeah.
but looked at the young boy. Then Brave was like my boy. We're all boys, but I used to call him my boy. I looked at
Yeah.
him, and I got so emotional. Then I started crying. Brave was like, Babedi, it's okay, it's okay. Then we both started crying, and
Oh my God.
worst moment. That was the worst moment. And my mother just said, "Okay, I think it should be the end of your CBU journey now. Come back, come back. You
Mm.
cannot go to school and then they start beating you like that." Because I
Yeah.
had like marks on my back. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, it was part of the journey. I think that made me strong. That made me
Yeah.
strong. It made me realize that sometimes in life things would happen in that way. And it's not like I was maybe involved in the riot, but I just found myself in that situation, and I learned a number of things. I learned how
Yeah.
to stay because in the police cells we're like, if I haven't mistaken, we're like 52 of
Wow.
us, and we built the friendship from that place. I still remember
Yeah.
one of the quotes that I knew from there, like on a personal level, was like guided. There's that guy we used to call guided. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Samson. Even up to
Oh
now, like
yeah.
when I say there's a word that we used to say at Justua. I think we used to go to Justua, then we say Donsa. I think that was something we were saying around 22, just to push some time up to like midnight. Yeah.
Mm.
It made me discover a number of things. It made me strong, and it made me to stand on my own because around that time I used to be a mommy's boy, I think. So that was yeah, hard times create strong people. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I knew like the time because I remember I experienced that Jambo. Me, I ran out of school. I ran out of school. But I remember when we came to see you at the police station and it was so bad. But I just didn't know like it was so bad that you cried. I didn't know it was that bad.
Like it was like we're all strong, but
Yeah.
just looking at, like, you are in a very small police cell, you can see
Mm.
maybe like you can see the toilet somewhere there, and no proper, like, you can't sleep, you just have to sit or something like that. So I got so emotional, and I was like, ish, all the way from Lusaka I come here to experience this.
Mm.
And yeah, but it was what it was, and we came out of that, and we learned our lesson.
You
Yeah.
know, you have said something, and there's a popular there's a popular saying that says, a man doesn't cry. Mwamuna samalila. So now, when you said that, you've reminded me of that particular word. What's your opinion on the issue of saying like men are not supposed to cry or men shouldn't cry?
But that's like a dangerous saying, eh? That's a dangerous
Yeah,
saying. Because,
yeah.
even just growing up, I think that was a way of saying, okay, you have to be strong, you have to be strong. But you cannot be
Mhm.
strong all the times. There are times
Yeah.
where you have to let it out, okay? You have to let it out
Mm.
because every time you are just, it's like you are compiling stuff in your chest. And
Hmm.
that's why, like, you see like there are a number of suicide cases around. It's because people have decided not to cry, not men not to cry. But when you're broken, just let it
Yeah.
out and figure out solutions afterwards, because when you let it out, obviously you have more room in your mind to think about other alternatives. You have
Mm.
more, like, you'll be like you'll be more like, what word can I use? You'll be like emotionally stressed, and once you let it out, to give you room to even be creative. So the issue of Mwamuna samalila, I think, guys, let us be crying. Eh? Let's us be crying. And then when we cry, maybe like we'll find solutions, we'll figure out other things. Yeah.
I always tell my husband, like me, I'm a crybaby. Like I never used to cry growing up. I feel like I used to hold so much things in me, and then like growing up, I just cry. Like guys, if I can't do it, I just not that I'm not strong enough, but because I just feel like I've been so strong so many times that it's okay to just break down and then like get up and solve the solution again. Yeah.
Yeah, even in the Bible, like Jesus wept. Eh? Where am I not to? So
You-
yeah, like we're not Bible scholars, but at least we know that there's a verse that says Jesus wept. So yeah, that should be
yeah.
our passport.
I mean, that's so true. Just on there, do you think that men don't have enough support, maybe within themselves or in the community, that allows them to just like speak out? Like the reason why they end up not crying, or even like, we have like a lot of like holding on to all of these things, is because the community has been built in such a way that it doesn't allow men to voice out what they are going through. Because if you voice out, maybe you will be looked at to be weak, and then maybe men as well, they don't have like a community within themselves where they can just go to themselves and say, guys, me, it's crazy here, I don't know what's going on. Do you think our community has been built like that?
Okay, I think our communities are like, there are so many dynamics in these communities where are coming from, and even just from the circles we're involved in, and even
Yeah.
just the friends that we have. Like in
Mhm.
confidence, I can say I have friends like Gaston, I have friends like Kosam. When things
Mm.
are hard, I know that okay, for this issue, I can reach out to Kosam or tell him, man, okay, this is what is happening, and he will hear me out. But the way we've been raised like every time you cry, or every time you complain about something, it will be defined as weakness. As a result, in trying to prove a point that okay, I'm strong, I'm what, you tend not to reach out to other people. That's why you find that guys, like you find that a guy dies of maybe like this disease or that disease, because we've got we are we we tend to be so secretive. We tend to be to like, okay, if I say this, what will the community say? What will people say? What will my friends say? What will my family say? But the approach should be like, we're supposed to be free. We're supposed to be free. I'm supposed to reach out to even my friend and say, hey guys, this is what is
Mm.
happening.
Yeah,
Because
that's so
you
true.
say like, okay, if I do something, my friends will laugh at me. They'll start making memes out of what has happened, but that shouldn't be the
Yeah.
case. So we are in a
Mm.
society that doesn't really offer much support, and that's why like we see a number of cases where maybe someone commits suicide because he was like, okay, if I break this news to my friends, if I break this news to my family, how will society receive me? So there are all
Yeah.
those issues that have really like caused a lot of damage in the society. And if you're not stable enough, if you're not exposed to a number of information, and if you don't have strong friends or family that can say, okay, man, come here, let me help you to get to the drawing board. How can we work these things out? Then things will be hard, and the only solution will be like, okay, maybe I just kick the bucket,
Which is never the solution. Which is
which
never
is
the
never a
solution.
solution, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me take you back to the Copperbelt University. I think you had one of the exciting experiences at the Copperbelt University. You had an opportunity to travel to a different country while studying at the Copperbelt University, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I think maybe before like we talk about the Copperbelt University, I think my journey starts like it starts from, maybe I'll be like, maybe let me just share a bit about like my school journey and how like I found myself at the Copperbelt University. So like I did my primary school at John Leng Basic. Then from there, like I started,
Mm-hmm.
I like I was I was just the boy from the compound, and my mother was my auntie, my mother. So it's a complicated story there. I need to explain, but not now. So like my mother decided for me to go from the compound to go to a police camp. So I did my grade eight. I did my grade eight from Delay Basic. Then from there I passed. I think from grade nine I passed. I went to Kamlanga Secondary School. From Kamlanga, I started making plans like where will I go after this. Then my mother really wanted me to go to Unza, and I was like, no. Unza, I never, even up to now, like Unza, it was just a no-go area for me. So I was like, I want to go to CBU.
It's
So
a
I remember 2018, I applied for the 2015 intake, and I was left out. So I was a little bit broken, and I was like, okay, let me try to change the school because I had applied in School of Natural Sciences. Okay. So I changed the school and applied in Natural Resources. And when I was applying on my list of options, one of my options was to do agriculture, any agriculture course related. So when I was consulting, a friend of mine told me, okay, something that is close to what you want is agroforestry. Okay. So when applying, I don't know, when applying, I applied for forestry. So like agroforest and forestry, they're the same. So I was like, okay, let me just go for this. And that's how I applied. I was in the School of Natural Resources and did my first year-ish. First year was like tough. I remember I almost carried the course, I think. Yeah, almost, but I cleared. And then while in first year, that's when you started getting stories like, okay, those guys that are doing forestry, you have an opportunity to do the exchange program in Israel. Yeah, so we started working towards that. And we had so many. So the
yeah.
qualification was like you have a clear pass and all the interviews because the school was conducting interviews.
Okay.
So so we did the interviews. I think the interviews I passed the interviews, and then when we wrote the exams, I carried the course.
Okay.
Yeah, so I carried the course. I carried plant physiology and genetics, and it was so shocking because I had the CA of 28, and up to date, like I failed to understand that because I got a CA of
Yeah.
28, and I got a D. So I started doing my mathematics. For one to get a D plus, they need to get like 42. I was like, does it mean I failed to get about 20? I failed to get about 14 or 12 in that exam. I was like, no, wait. I was like, no. So I tried to appeal. They were like, no. That's how I just accepted it and said, okay, fine. And the shocking story that my close friend Kosam also carried the same course. So
Wow.
like, yeah. We were like, okay. Because the common saying, birds of the same feathers. So yeah. So Kosam carried the course, I was carried the course. So like, and the thing was this, Kosam checked the results before I did, and he found that he's carried the course. So he was like, he couldn't tell me about his results. He was like, I haven't yet checked my results. So when he checked, he was like, wait, I've carried the course. That's bad. So I was in a panic mode. I managed to check for my results, and I told him, man, I carried the same course. So we started comforting each other. Yeah, no, not a problem. Now,
The country, you're not the only one in the solution.
comforting each other, I think I remember the Israel thing popped up in our mind that, okay, so this means we'll not be part of the group. And
Yeah.
we saw discover that during that period, a number of guys carried courses, not just the course that we carried, like others carried 2 courses, others went on part-time. So they said, okay, yeah. So the school said all those who carried like a single course, they still qualified to go for that exchange program. And we said, okay, perfect. Yeah, and that's how we pushed. And yeah, we found ourselves on the other side, learned what we could learn, yeah, came back. But when we came back, I think it was tough.
Okay.
When we came back, it was tough because
So how was the experience of living in another country? Did you miss home? Like, like what was it like? Just how was the experience of living in another country? Was it hard? Was it, did you have days when you'd cry? You're like, I miss home. Was it because you're with your friends? Maybe was it easier? How was it?
So the experience, I think it was for me like I think there's a story that needs to be shared. So a week after I'd gone to Israel, I think that was the time I lost my mom, and I couldn't come back to Zambia because I was that during that period. So like nothing made sense for me like coming back. I was like, because I had made a number of promises to my mom, like when I come back, I'll do this, I'll do that. So like losing my mother, and when we were at the airport, I remember like phoning my mother. The last conversation that we had, I was telling her my mother was full of jokes, so she made a joke that you shouldn't vomit in a plane. I was like, have you ever been on one and you vomited? So like we're just cracking the jokes around, and a week later, I think we traveled. I think on the 28th, and then on the 4th of December, I just received the news that okay, actually, no one called me. Somebody texted me and saying my condolences, my guy. I was like, is this my message or something? I was like, are you
Yeah.
not what has happened? Yeah, no, I'm not. That's when I tried reaching out to my sister. She wasn't picking. I
Oh,
called my I called my girlfriend. Yeah, I called my girlfriend. Hey, there's this that I received. Try to reach out. Who is my wife now? Okay, not my wife
oh.
now. Yeah, yeah. So I was like,
For
reach out.
record, who's now your wife?
Yeah, try to reach out to my sister, and she called. They couldn't talk because my sister was just crying. So she called me and she was saying, I think what you heard should be right because she hasn't
Oh
been
my
able to
God.
talk. Because she just, I was like, oh shit. So yeah, the experience was quite good. And until after some time, like I started accepting it little by bit, until I said, okay, no place like home. I need to get back at some point. And Israel being a war zone, yeah, there are times where like you could even say bye to your family because of the Gaza thing. So yeah, most of the times we could miss home, and then yeah, we managed to finish the 1 year and we came back.
Wow. Like, I'm so shocked. Okay, I knew that there's a point in the university when you lost your mother. I just didn't know it was the time that you were in the university. I mean, the time that you were in Israel. Like, how was that, like, knowing how much you loved your mother? How was that, like, having to mourn her away from your family and not being able to actually say goodbye to her? Like, how did you, how was that for you?
It was hard. I won't lie to you, and that has taken a lot of time for me to just accept it because that woman meant so much to my life. Like she made a lot of sacrifices. She did so much just to see me there because like my life is in different areas. So part of my life I was like in the ghetto, the other part of my life. So I've lived different kinds of lives. So that's why like most of my friends that are close to me, like Kosam and Gaston, sometimes I just tell them like,
Mm,
okay, if you provoke me, I'll just change the software and go back to the ghetto where I'm from and I'll do you bad. Yeah.
yeah.
So, she changed my life. She showed me the importance of school. That's why, like, when you see a lot of my friends thought like I was so much in school, but that was something that my mother instilled in me. Like, she
Aish.
made sure that I concentrated in school. Because I remember when I started grade 8, I'm proud to say this because I've been waiting to share like a number of, I have so many stories. So I remember first day in grade 8, like in mathematics, I remember getting 2 out of 9 in mathematics, 2 out of 9. Then I went back home, I showed my mother, and look, this is what, then she was like, no, 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 you can do better than this. Okay, she gave me the
Oh,
hope. Yeah, yeah, she gave me,
where did
she
you
believed in
permission
me.
from your
Yeah.
mother?
And then I remember the second day I think I got 3 out of 6. Then she told me, yeah, see what you've done. from 2 you are now on 3. Then the next time I got like 18 out of 18. And she was like, "See what I was telling you, you're capable of doing it." So she
Oh,
meant so much.
wow.
And yeah, she meant so much. And she believed in me. Like I remember I have a friend who used to tell
Yeah.
me like, "Well, investment, something like that, you know." Like yeah. So yeah, she meant so much, and losing her, I think it hit me so bad. And with that Mwamuna
Yeah.
samalila kind of thing, I think when I received the news, I was just quiet the whole day. I remember we were supposed to go in the field with friends, and they asked me
Mm.
to remain in the room, and I refused. I told them, yeah, no, no, no. Let me just go. Let's just continue doing what we're supposed to do, because if I remain in the room, like I'll break down, and there won't be anyone
Yeah.
to, yeah. So we went. I pretended to be strong, but I was broken. Yeah, but that's life. That's how life is. I think it was designed to be like that.
Wow. Woo. Yeah, wow, that was a lot taking. I can't, I don't know. Anyway, moving on back to CBU, just before we move away from CBU, but I have one more question for you. What do you think was the greatest lesson that you learned out of your university? And before you answer that, there's somebody who told me something. They said, in the university, you get a degree, but more than a degree, I feel like they said like it's the lifestyle that you change to have as a result of your experience in the university that is the greatest benefit. So and so that's why I'm asking this question, and I want you to answer me from a point of not academics, like away from academics. What do you think is the greatest life lesson that you learned from the university?
I think the greatest lesson was, I think my greatest lesson, self-dependency, because I learned to depend on myself. Like I was like, okay, if I don't do this myself, who is going to do it for me? Yeah.
Hmm.
Or like some of us, like a number of people, let me not say some of us, a number of people go to university like with little resources, and if you don't stand on your own, you won't be able to manage the little resources that you have. But if you are self-dependent, you say, okay, you learn how to budget. Okay, you learn how to budget, you learn how to network with friends, you you learn how to do things in an orderly manner. Like like, okay, if I don't do this, this will be the consequence. Because I remember like there are a number of times where like I could spend much of my time on book studying, because if I study for 2 hours, 3 hours, I would feel like I haven't done anything, because I
Yeah.
knew that, okay, if I don't put in much effort, like that would be the end of me. And one thing that I never, and I was scared of exclude. Then
Were we were we all not?
yeah, because for a number of people, like export it was like something that, like, that would be the end of you, especially if you don't have like people that would support you. So
Yeah.
most of the times we'd spend time on books, and less playing. But doesn't mean like we never used to. We at times like we'd be in the room like the whole day, maybe we're just playing FIFA. Like you go out you take a walk. I remember we used to have night walks with my baby. Let me call you back.
Oh, you received the call. Okay, I lost you for a minute there. Okay.
Oh yeah, I received the call. I received the call. I'm using hotspot, so I received the call.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, there are those times like you just be walking, you take a walk with your friends just to refresh. And yeah. But above everything, above the degree, above anything, I think self dependency was, I think, one of the biggest lessons. Because a number of us guys, you say like, okay, Bali will do this, Bali will do that, but you need to stand on your own. So I think that was the greatest lesson that I learned,
Okay,
and
so
that has really helped me too.
okay, I want you to give me a brief summary of your life past university, your first job, moving out, and your current job. So yeah.
Okay, so after writing the final exam, I remember
Mm-hmm.
after writing the final exam, remember I'd mentioned that I'd carried a course. So I was doing
Yes.
that course in my final year. So the second year course, I was doing it in my final year. So
Mm-hmm.
after writing the exam, the results came out and I cleared all my fourth year courses, but I still needed to sit for that course. So I remained in
Mm-hmm.
Kitwe, and while in Kitwe, my plan was to look out for opportunities and start my life there. So we moved to a boarding house where I started
Mm-hmm.
paying and trying to look out for opportunities. Then I wrote that course, cleared the course,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided to. I was like, okay, my strongest networks are in Lusaka. So I told my
Mm-hmm.
friend, I told my sister, I said, okay, I need to get back to Lusaka so that I can start my own thing. So I moved from Lusaka and went to my sister's place, I think in Zanimon. So stayed
Mm-hmm.
there, and while there, I was like, okay, what do I do? I cannot just be sitting here. So I reached out to my former boss, the Indian guy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Mr. Osman. So I reached out to him, and he told me, okay, when there's something, I'll let you know. And then after maybe a few days, he called me. He said, Mwanza, I have friends that we've partnered with, and we are starting up a pharmaceutical company. So from the work that we've done, because I had worked with that guy like in 2014 to 2016 before CBU.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're capable of doing this thing. So I would like you to join us. So I said, okay, cool. I can come through. That's why I went and I met his partners, and we had the interview. Then they said, okay, we've given you the job. You can come to the pharmaceutical company and start working with them. So while working at the pharmaceutical company, like I could move. My sister would give me a lift when she's going for work, drop me in town, then I get on a bus, get to
Mm-hmm.
Kalingalinga, yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So I think I started, I think around March. Then I told myself like, okay, I think this is the time that I was waiting for. So I'd
Yeah.
set my target and said by June I need to be independent. So I told my
Okay.
sister, okay, I told my sister that I think I'm thinking of shifting, and she told me, what's the plan? Because she wanted to know like if I have a
Yeah.
plan, because most of the guys around would say, I want to shift, and you shift. You just move, you don't have where to sleep, you don't have anything. Then I told
Mm-hmm.
her, my plan is this. Then I outlined my plan to my sister. I told them, yeah, this month I'll buy this month I'll buy that. Yeah, I said, oh, okay. Then that same month, I remember I bought myself a mattress. I bought my a mattress. I bought the
Mm-hmm.
mattress. Yeah, the following month, I think I bought like a two-plate cooker, like a stove with a oven like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, a bit of some plates, just in readiness of where I was going. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I found a bed sitter. Sorry, not a bed space. I found a bed space in Long Acres. So because I wasn't telling people what I was doing, so
Yeah.
I decided to make a deal with this guy. I was just talking to him on phone. It was a very nice bed sitter. Like I saw it on Facebook. Then he tells me, no, you
Yeah.
need to pay. Huh? You need to pay in advance, 2 months.
Mm.
Then I said, okay, let's make a deal. I've liked the place, and I remember that place. I think was 1,200 kwacha,
Mm.
if I haven't mistaken. So the guy
That's a
wanted
very
me to give. Yeah, that guy wanted me to give him like 2,400. Then I said, okay, I can only give you 2,400 when we meet and I see the place. So
mm.
for now, the only deal we can do is I can give you 1,200, and
Mm-hmm.
when I come we meet in person, I'll clear the balance, because I
Mm.
didn't trust the guy. So the guy says, "No, boss, no, just trust me, trust me." I was like, "No, no, 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 no. What I can do is this." Then he said, "Okay, let's do it that way." So I sent him the money. After sending him the money, 30 minutes later, the guy's phone stopped going through. Then I knew
You are.
that I was in problems. Yeah, then I knew that I was in problems. So
Oh my
instantly, yeah, it wasn't the first experience. You're planning to shift. I think that was around should be maybe May. I think if I haven't mistaken. Yeah, around
The
that.
lesson behind your story here is don't give money to a person before you see the house in
Yeah, it's a
person.
lesson that I'm sharing to everyone. Everyone who wants to shift, guys, please, first, chin to when they see the thing, they'll pay for it. So, like I
Mhm.
was, and I've been like my brother, my sister, they know me to be this person who is like so clever. I cannot do such a thing. But because I was, yeah, I don't know how I missed it. So I was so embarrassed. I couldn't tell my sister. So I kept it to myself. I couldn't even tell my friend Prince that this is what has happened. So I just kept quiet.
Yeah.
And then I think I reached out to a certain guy and he told me like, okay, there's a place where you can see this bed sitter. I think around mass media there. And I said, okay, I can only pay for this when I see it. That's when
This time around, you are
I met.
very.
Yeah, I was actually forced to learn things in a fast way. So I met fortunately I met the landlord, and
Yeah.
and I gave him the payment, and I had conditions. Now I was like, okay, I'll give you 2 months installment. I'll give you 2 months installment, and my condition is I need to get a copy of your NRC. Yeah, because I had lent it in a hard way. So I was like, hey, I need to
You
get
are
a copy
smart
of your.
now.
Yeah, so the man was like, yeah, don't worry, I'll give you. That's how he gave me a copy of NRC. And
Mm.
I went home and I told my sister that I think June on the 9th, I need to shift. And she was like, oh, okay. So what's the plan again? And I said, yeah, I'm shifting. Okay,
Mm.
no, not a problem. So during that same period, I'm not too sure. I've never talked about this with my brother. Then my brother called me and he told me, I want you to come to my place. I want you to be staying at my place. So you'll be moving from my place. You go for work. Then I remember telling
Mm.
my brother, it's too late. I need to start my own thing now, so that I learn. When things go sour, I'll still get back. Yeah,
Mm.
because I think my brother and my sister are a little bit worried that okay, this guy he just wants to move out and stuff. Yeah, so that's
Mm.
how I moved. And I remember like when shifting, I moved. We used that car IST. Yeah, that's the
Mhm.
vehicle that we use. That's like a small vehicle. Parked. I remember parking my stove there, my clothes, a suitcase with my friend. But I had bought a bed. The bed just came straight to the house. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, that's how we moved. From there, at the pharmaceutical company, started working, and while working, started looking out for other opportunities. And I remember applying for Kasisi Agriculture Training Center and moved to Kasisi.
And that's
And
where you are right now.
that's where I am now. I've been with Kasisi for 2 years now.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
Moving out, what was, I mean, I could see that you had a drive to move out. And there are so many people out there, guys, girls, who reach at a certain age and they probably want to move out, but they also don't know if they want to move out. What was your biggest drive to move out? Like, why did you want to move out?
I started explaining by saying life, the way I define life myself, and moving out, like maybe from your parents, from your guardians. I think I use a scenario of a manual transmission vehicle. Because when you engage
Mm-hmm.
gear one, it will tell you at some point that you need gear two, and it will still tell you that you need gear three, gear four, up to like gear five, depending
Mm-hmm.
with the type of vehicle. Now we even have gear six. So most of the times people feel like okay, I can just from gear one I can engage to gear four. It doesn't work like that. You need to do your homework now. You need to do your homework. You put the
Mm-hmm.
pieces together, like you say, okay, from here, this is the plan that I have. And I know like my for me, my sister was so concerned because every time I mentioned about moving, I had the patience to wait until I buy something that I'll use. Imagine you leave your parents and you go and sleep maybe on the floor without you doing your
Mm.
preparations. So the biggest thing that I would say is that okay, you need to do your preparations. You need to do your preparations right. And what prompted me was like, okay, now I'm done with university, and I had already developed the life of being independent. I said, okay, now is the time now to be independent and start my life, because you cannot live the whole of your life like being kept or something. Yeah, when it's like that, it's like that. But you need to also show the effort and try to do your own things. So yeah, that's how I define stuff.
Okay, so I have a question here. Was like one of the reasons that you wanted to move, was did it have to be like you want to be independent so that you can um like have, like, let's say your girlfriend come see you or things like that? Maybe that's what your sister was worried about, because like, was that part of the
Yeah,
reason
but like when you are focused, like when you have a plan, like you have a clear vision, like okay, this is what I want, this is
Mhm.
what I want. So the drive is okay. When I become independent, will I be able to accommodate maybe my young brothers? Will I be able to support other people that I can also support? And then it also comes in to say, okay, now is the time we're heading towards. At some point, I need to be called a husband. I need to have a wife. So preparation starts from that side, according to me, not according to anybody, according to me and my
Okay.
experience.
So you're thinking that moving out
So
somehow helped you to start preparing to get married?
yeah, moving out made me like grow. It made me develop. It made me to know how to budget. It made me to start seeing things on a bigger picture, because I felt like I was inside a box. But the time I moved out, I was like, okay, at the end of the month I need to pay rent. And my
Mm-hmm.
friend Kosam uses me as an example, because I won't lie to you,
Mm.
my rent was half of my pay that I was getting. Yeah,
Wow.
Kosam uses that as an example, because my rent was half of my pay. Yeah, so if,
Wow.
for example, if I was getting 1,000 kwacha, just know that 500 kwacha was going towards my rent. So it made me to think outside the box. And after I moved out, the plan of maybe coming up with a business or trying out other things, it just made me develop. So I just needed space for development. And by moving out to start staying alone, like I developed. I'm not saying I've fully developed. I'm still
Yeah.
developing. It's there are
Yeah.
yeah, there are stages. You develop,
Yeah.
you learn this, you make mistakes, you focus on the mistakes, you amend the mistakes, and yeah, you get there.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. So, I mean, interesting. Uh, from living alone, is there, someone is thinking like, okay, I want to move out, I want to start staying on my own. Um, but maybe they still have doubts, they still have doubts. What would be a word to them?
Okay, I think most of the times when you want to move out, there's that fear that okay,
Uh-huh.
like you have so many what if questions will be coming. Okay, what if I fail to parent? What if I fail to do
Exactly.
this? Okay, you have so many of the what
Mm-hmm.
if questions. But
Mm-hmm.
believing in yourself and having the faith that okay, I can do this. And once you just take that step, even your thinking changes, because you become more responsible than when you are being kept. So your levels of responsibility changes. If they were at 5, it will shoot to maybe like 25, because you know that okay, I have these things that I need, there are bills that I need to pay. That's why I like it. People say like at import asharulai, at import asharigula. But when you start paying your bills, you say like import asharula. So so yeah, it's about the responsibility. So when
Yeah.
when you say like, okay, I want to move, you have so many fears, but when you've done your homework right, you've prepared your move, and you haven't bent the bridges, especially to the people that are like staying with their brothers, with the other guardians. Like, you move out and you bend the bridge. Suppose things turn out, suppose you fail to pay rent maybe for a month, and you bent the bridge the other side, who's going to help you? So the thing is that once you
Exactly.
move out, yeah, you become very responsible. You start building networks. As you are developing, you build networks, and yeah, it's as easy. But what I've been saying, like my summary of everything that I've said, it's a manual transmission
Mm.
vehicle. You cannot start the vehicle in gear three. So wait for the right time. And these people that maybe our guardians, our brothers and our sisters, they know that
Mm.
okay, this is now the right time. Okay, and families are able to see, especially elderly people are able to see when you are responsible. Imagine you are working, regardless of the money that, regardless the little money you are getting, every time you get your pay, you go home, you even fail to buy maybe bread, eh? For where you fail to buy bread,
Mm.
they will start seeing those bad traits that okay, this guy is not yet responsible. But when they see some level of responsibility, they should be able to support your move. And even when you break the news that okay, I want to shift, they'll say okay, this person has been responsible, and they're able to keep themselves. And there are these things, I think you mentioned something where like, oh, I move out because my girlfriend this, girlfriend what,
Mm.
those things don't work.
Mm.
Okay, because it even shows like that's where you're staying. Yeah, yeah, and that's why like a number of people make a lot of mistakes, because if your motive is wrong in the beginning, everything you can just collapse.
Mm.
But if your motive is right, you know what you want, you know what you want to achieve, yeah, it works out easier, and opportunities will be following you. Whatever the right things you'll be doing will be attracting opportunities, and you won't fail. At the end, you benefit, and it will help you, and people will be learning from you. I have people like I have my friends. I'm happy to
Mm.
say like I have friends that we recognize each other's efforts and we learn from each
Yeah.
other. Last week I
Yeah.
was on the Copperbelt, and my friend Kosam told me he was riding a motorbike, so he tells me, now we should avoid like I like how you I appreciate how you've helped me. I'm like, I also appreciate how you've helped me. We've been helping one
Mm.
another up to now. So yeah. So it's about
Wow.
planning. It's about yeah.
You know what? I don't think I have any more questions for you because this has been such a good conversation. I have been learning, like myself, I'm out here learning a lot of things from this conversation. It's been such a good conversation. Thank you so much for coming. But before we go, I know there's one more story that you haven't shared. So please tell us that one more story that you prepared for us that you haven't shared.
One more story.
Yes.
One more story is
I
that
don't.
okay. Yeah, one more story
Uh-huh.
is that like when you're oh, one more story is that yeah, I'm married now. Yeah, I'm a married man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
We're
yeah,
coming
thanks
back.
to
You know
CPU.
what? We're coming back to talk about that in a different interview. But thank you so much for coming today. Any last words of advice to the people out there? I mean, this is a new year. Yeah. Any new year wishes, new year advice to the people out there?
Yeah, I think my advice would be like plan your work and work your plan. As you start the
Mm.
year, make sure that you plan the year nicely. And we are still in January now. Like we still have like some time to plan the year, so we can plan the year and work our plan. And there's one scripture that I like. It says, "Write down your vision." Eh? So like every time,
Mm.
like write down your visions and stick to that. They will help you. I'm not saying like I'm there, I'm there. No, 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 no. I'm still writing down. Like even here, I have so many papers I was writing. So we are always
Yeah.
writing and invest time in learning. I think, yeah. There's so much content around. Like Facebook has so much. You just choose what you want to learn. Yeah, you choose what you want to hear, what you want to listen to. So, like, my advice to to a number of my colleagues would be like, let's invest time in learning. Let's invest time in creating networks. Let's invest time in developing ourselves. I think we're a crop that is privileged to a lot of information, and if we want to screw up, we can screw up on our own, but we have the chance to learn. So learning shouldn't end. Let's not say, okay, I have a degree, I have a what. Yeah, even people with PhDs are still learning, even right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to come back. This has been such a good conversation. Tell me that you're coming back.
Yeah, coming back. I'm still open. I'm also trying to develop a different approach of doing things. I've been looking out for a platform where like I can maybe share, especially to the young ones. So I think this is a step towards that. Like I tried to
Yeah,
force
would.
things at some point and things were not working out, but at the right time things work out. I think
Yeah.
I should testify that this first interview is my year two in my driving. So yeah. I'm confident that we're headed for the right direction.
We're headed for the definitely we're headed for the right direction, and you're coming back because we need to have another conversation because there's so much that we need to learn from you. We still need to come and talk about you getting married and all that good stuff. But until then, thank you so much,
That
everybody, for
conversation,
watching.
that
Thank you so much.
conversation, you need to bribe me.
I'm bribing you. Whatever. In fact, I'll just use your wife to bribe you. That's what I'm going to do. That's the only way that can work.
Oh, thank you so
All
much.
right.
Now I
So
really
thank you so
appreciate
much.
for giving me this opportunity to just share a number of things.
No,
I'm so humbled, and I'm open. I'm open whenever there's chance for one of these conversations. Yeah, we can always do one of these interviews. Yeah, and is it
yeah.
possible that we can have an interview for four people?
Yes, yes, we can. We can. Are
Yeah,
you? Are you?
yeah. I'll organize. I'll try to talk to my two friends so that we can do one interview. Yeah.
This year is gonna be a good year. That's what I can say. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, my name is Nyawatembo Silwenga, and my guest today has been Muyangwa Mwanza. Bye bye.